#1 local news. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6.
Breaking news right now at 6. The state budget crisis may force lawmakers to do something the state hasn't done since 2011. Lay off state police troopers. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Denise DeCenzo.
I'm Dennis House. Just a day after Governor Malloy called for $33 million in immediate budget cuts, the state police union was called to talk about layoffs. Tonight we have team coverage for you on this deepening deficit and looming layoffs.
Channel 3's Susan Raff is looking at the proposed cuts, but first we go to Channel 3's Matthew Campbell, where he's learning of the first potential layoffs. Matthew?
Well, Dennis and Denise, right now there are 1,031 sworn troopers protecting our state. That's actually 253 fewer than there were back in 2009. And now union officials are saying that the state wants to cut it again by 5.
It puts the public at real risk. It reduces our response time, and it affects the backup for our troopers.
Strong words from Connecticut State Police Union President Andrew Matthews. After wrapping up a meeting with state officials, he learned the state, under a $389 million budget gap, is looking to lay off 5 state troopers, saving the state just under $300,000.
Is it possible that number could increase? And they said, yes, it is possible. So we're thankful that it is 5 right now, but we believe, again, we gave them ideas that would exceed the 5 positions.
Some of those ideas were laying off managers, increasing tickets by $10, and discontinuing the use of temporary retired workers.
People dedicate their lives and are willing to give their life for the state. You shouldn't be laying off state troopers.
Lawmakers from both parties agree. We caught up with 2 members of the Public Safety and Security Committee.
There's going to be people that are probably going to be laid off, and there are going to be people that get hurt because of these bad decisions with the Connecticut State Police.
Without question, it's a public safety issue in not only small towns where you have resident troopers, but also in our urban areas to provide that level of public safety.
Now, there is a reason this meeting was called so quickly. You know, under the current contract, troopers have actually 6 weeks, a 6-week grace period between the time that they're notified that they're being laid off to the time that it takes effect. And the budget needs to be wrapped up by the end of June, so that means next Friday would be the absolute latest for the state to officially and formally notify any troopers that they're getting laid off. That's the latest. Live here in Hartford, Matthew Campbell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Matthew, thank you. Now, it's almost like waiting for the axe to fall. The threat of what could be thousands of layoffs looms as state lawmakers and the governor look for ways to fix the state's budget crisis. Republicans and Democrats are realizing they may have to pull together to get out of this mess. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Susan Raff is here now, continuing our team coverage. Susan?
Dennis, we keep hearing all the time how bad things are, but what's more important is what's going to be done to fix all of this. Layoffs may be only part of the solution.
This is not an easy process.
That may be putting it mildly. The state has had deficits before, but not like this.
The deficit being as large as it is, 2.7.
The House Speaker sat down with the minority leader to show both sides are committed to fixing the problem.
It's a vision on how we fix it, not today, but for many years and generations down the road.
But right now, things have to be done. On Wednesday, the governor called for immediate cuts, more than $33 million. Cities and towns would feel some of the pain, along with the court system, and hospitals are being hit again. And it's what's going on behind closed doors that has people talking. The governor's staff has been negotiating with the labor unions. Malloy and Republicans are looking for $700 million in concessions. If they don't get what they want, there could be thousands of layoffs.
Is that $700 million is now, I think, an absolute minimum for us, rather than just a target, given on the way things have worsened since that initial target was set.
Optimistic?
What's that?
Optimistic? Do you really think that will come close to that figure?
I think it has to, because otherwise the other alternatives are more and more painful layoffs and further decrease in our workforce.
Some of the concessions currently on the table: higher co-pays for state workers when it comes to health care, contributing to their pensions, and a salary freeze. But they are running out of time and money. The session ends in less than 5 weeks. Everyone, we are told, is now scrambling to put together a new revised budget. Susan Raff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Well, today wasn't exactly warm, but it certainly was the best day of the week, with temperatures in many spots reaching the low and middle 60s. The normal high is still 70s, so we're not quite there yet. There's our iCam in Plainfield, one of the cloudier spots in the state right now. In other parts of Connecticut, the sky is mostly sunny at the moment. Berlin 63, East Hartford 63, Meriden 60, and West Haven coming in at 55 with an onshore breeze and no rain to worry about if you plan on getting outside and enjoying the extra daylight. The sun going down at 8 o'clock this evening. And we have a storm still spinning around east of New England, rotating some rain back into Maine and Nova Scotia. And look at all that rain off to our west, but it's diving to the southeast. So that northwesterly flow, at least for now, is protecting us. So tonight we'll say partly cloudy to at times mostly cloudy, especially later on tonight. We'll have a moonlit sky. We're just a little bit beyond that full flower moon, and lows by morning mainly in the 40s, but some of those colder spots could dip into the 30s, especially if we have enough in the way of clear sky. The week will end on a dry, cool note. The weekend, well, it looks like it's going to be cool and wet. We'll time out the heaviest rain coming up in 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Bruce. Now at 6, a school community is learning disturbing news. A teenager arrested, accused of sexually assaulting another teen inside Torrington High School. According to the warrant, it happened months ago, but news of the arrest and details of what happened are just coming out now. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter David McKay spoke with some parents who are concerned that they haven't heard about this until now. David?
17-year-old Andrew Cavallo Gomes faces a number of charges, including sexual assault. Torrington police arrested him after a month-long investigation. The sexual assault allegedly happened inside the Torrington High School last December after school hours.
They don't understand that this will follow them for the rest of their life.
Inside a warrant obtained by Channel 3, the 15-year-old female victim had told an interviewer at the Center for Youth and Families that she and Andrew Gomes had been friends through the Air Force ROTC program at the Torrington High School. She was open that the two had had a brief consensual sexual relationship back in November, but made it clear she didn't want that anymore. She said Gomes asked her to stay after school that December 6th day, thinking nothing of it, but said that Gomes had been trying to lift up her dress and make sexual advances on her while she was waiting for her father and also on the way to the stairwell. She said Gomes had tried forcing her to have oral sex and reported having to strike Gomes in order for this sexual assault to stop. The girl told the leader of the ROTC group in February.
We had a briefing about it because we didn't go over names or anything, but we had a briefing because it was a big issue, and the colonel felt we had to address that.
The warrant also stated Gomes had been spoken to by the Lieutenant Colonel Studley about social media and allegations of him sending nude photos of himself to fellow classmates.
We need to be aware of what's going on.
The superintendent's letter to parents today said, "We will hold accountable any students who engage in such behavior." Parents upset they are just finding out today.
It should have been done, talked about as soon as it happened, as soon as they found out.
Gomes is scheduled to appear in court next month. We called his attorney's office, but we haven't heard back. We also made an inquiry to the superintendent's office, but no response. Live in Torrington, David McKay, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, David. A New Haven man is under arrest, accused of following 2 young girls to school this morning. Police tell us 39-year-old Kamfat Pechampa followed and tried having conversations with the 10 and 12-year-old girls as they walked to Ross Woodward School. The girls told school staff of the suspicious encounter, and police were able to find him and arrest him.
Now, carried off the streets, protesters at Yale University blocking traffic to get their voices heard.
Plus, preventing storm surges and future flooding. One shoreline community is looking to raise the elevation of several beachfront roads to protect nearby neighborhoods. That story and more when Eyewitness News continues.